Welcome or welcome back. I'm Amanda and today I am playing with my counterfeit kit challenge and the Iron Crafter challenge. The Iron Crafter challenge is from Tara the Paper Snob and she challenges to use our supplies. And so I am showing you that this is my Nuvo Drops. I put it in a textured embossing folder and smeared it on. And so our Iron Crafter supply this month for April is Nuvo Drops or Stickles. So I decided to put my Nuvo Drops in this textured folder. And you can see that it's coming off and I'm using my craft knife very carefully and it does come off in pieces. The ones that came off a little bit better were thicker. So if you're going to do this, be really careful with your embossing folder because I did test a little bit of it before I did this on the whole folder, but it could wreck your folder, so be warned. But I like how it came out and I'm really happy with how it came out. I also have this 49 in market paper from Botanical Buzz and it is so cute, and I didn't actually pick out photos to start with, so hear me picking out photos. I'm going to use this one of my kids in front of this funky tree with like all these tree root limb bits. Tree roots. I can't speak. Posing, resting, we were on a hike, and I'm just going to sprinkle these bits around. I've got way more right now than I plan on using, but I do like the way that's looking. The only other thing I have for the Botanical Buzz is the 6x8 paper pad or pack where you get 3 of each of the papers, which I wish in the big 12x12s you got 3 of each. I so wish 3 of each would be so much easier to like not hoard. So I am going to be a little bit of hoarder with this, even though I have 3 of them. So I am going to mat my photo with this in a 4x6, but because I only want that outside edge, I'm gonna gut this 4x6 piece of paper. And I know, Amanda, just use your stuff, like, but it's so pretty and it would be a really great layering piece later. So I'm going to gut a 1/2 inch in on each side. So this ends up being a 3x5, if I do my math right. So it's about a 3x5. So it's a good piece of, like, it's a good scrap that I can definitely use, and look at all that stuff on there. So yeah, I know lots of people are like, just use it, but I don't have very much of this collection and I am finally using it, so I'm like, no. So I am going to cut around where these hexagons are, where these daisies are, because this is just way too pretty to cover up. And I do this with 49 market papers. I've done this with simple story papers. I really like doing it with the, where there's like that background and you're like, oh, there's just so much pretty artwork and I could just frame that piece of paper in and of itself. This way I get to see the prettiness and I'm using it. So yay me. It was really hard not using the back side of this paper because, oh, it is so pretty too. Like, maybe I'll have to figure out how to cover that one side up and use it too, because, oh, it's so pretty. And then, so I'm going to use this, the Nuvo Drop pieces underneath here. And I don't know if I said it already or not, but they're kind of like the texture of when like you were kids and you like put white glue on something and then peeled it off. That's what it reminds me of, is kind of like the white glue for texture. And so it's not super hard to handle, but in the thin spots it definitely is a lot more delicate. So like that piece just came right off, which is totally okay. But that's why I'm using the glue to glue it on. The tape would have just ripped it to shreds. This one's going to go underneath and over top of my cut piece, just to tie that a little bit in together. And then this piece is going to go underneath the photo mat and onto the doily there, just to add more layers. I'm just looking at what else I have left here. I don't know if I'll keep these pieces after or not. I have lots of them. I think maybe I'll put them in a little Ziploc bag and then with the botanical buzz stuff that I have, and we'll see. I might do something similar to this for the other kiddo, because they both saw this one. I went, is it mine? And I went, I don't know, maybe it's mine. And my youngest is like, but it has bees on it, so it has to be mine. And my oldest is like, I really like the bees on it. It's very pretty, Mom. Like, oh man. So I did want some more flowers, but I don't have anything other than this, just this, for the embellishments. Just this package. Like, I was late to the party with this one. And I went really, really fast in our local scrapbook store. Like, so fast. I was like, how is it gone already? And it was. So, is what it is. So I'm going to use the honeycomb. And I'm going to use the darker pieces of the honeycomb. I did think about using this tag a little bit. I did want something on this spot here, but I wasn't sure what I wanted. I just knew I needed something, but So I am going to cut the honeycomb apart in a few different pieces so that I can use it in a few different spots. The whole thing gets used other than a couple of errant little kind of pieces all over this. So then I cut that piece for down here. I'm going to slide that underneath and go, yep, I kind of like that. I'm not cutting anything anymore, so I took that out. And then this I'm going to glue right over top of my Nuvo piece here. And that bee I really like there. And then still trying this out, and I'm like, but I cover up so much of that honeycomb. So do I cut it more, or do I just lean into the honeycomb? I'm going to lean into the honeycomb. So then I'm going to cut this off here, which gives me another piece that I can use somewhere else, which gives me two more hexagon pieces. So I was thinking, where do I put that one? This I'm going to commit to because I like it. And then a bee there, and a bee that's up on foam. This one's going to get glued down for the filled in honeycomb piece. I was looking for the other bee. I'm trying to decide where that one's going to go. Nope, not there. And then trying to decide where this one's going to go. Nope. Yep, that's where that one's going to go. I wanted it to feel balanced, but I didn't want to cover up too much of a Nuvo that I worked hard on. So this one is up on foam and it's going to go in the middle one, but I'm trying in a bunch of different spots. And then that other one's going to go exactly where it is on the left side with a piece of foam, just to add a little bit more dimension. The Nuvo adds texture, but it doesn't add a lot of dimension. So I just wanted to add a little bit more. And then this piece is going to go also on the side. I thought about on the top for a second there, but I like it better here. The top has lots going on and it's pretty anyway. So, and then I'm going to slide a little bit of this in just so that it has some too. It would have been easier to put that down first, but I didn't, so that's okay. And then I'm going to use a couple more of these honeycomb, like filled in hexy honeycomb pieces. So one goes there. This one I had put there. It's not going to stay there. It's going to go, one's going to go here, overlapping the doily and that piece of the Nuvo. I just wanted to have some other points of contact that overlap with that so that it doesn't come off, because I don't know how well it's going to stay long term. So a little bit of those in a couple of the points hopefully will help keep it where it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to cut this off. It cuts really well, so that's good. And then I just need a title. So I went and grabbed this yellow alpha that's handwritten, that is in this yellow. It is the same kind of yellow, so that's why I grabbed it. And I'm going to call this Rest, because I have the letters for rest, and I didn't want to call it like hike, or like it was resting while we were doing a hike. I didn't want to call it pose. Like rest works. I'm like, not very creative with the title today, but it works. And then it's not going to stay there, but I thought it was. And then doing some Nuvo Drops, and so just here, there, and everywhere. So groups of 3s, but in all of the clusters. And then I'm going to do the flickly flick like Mel does, and that makes them go all nice and round and like perfect little circles. And then my rest is going to move down here, because I felt like that needed something with that little one there. And my R had the loop thing still in it, so I was poking that out. And that is on. And here are the close-ups. Oh, so happy with this. Isn't that cute? Oh, I'm so happy how that Nuvo texture added. Just, oh, so happy how that turned out. I'm glad I experimented today. If you liked my experimentation today, make sure you give me that thumbs up. Comment below. I always get back to my comments. And if you're new here, I would love to have you subscribe. This is part of the Iron Crafters Hop again, so that playlist will link below. Make sure you go take a look at all the other creatives and how they played with their Nuvo Drops. Thank you so much for being here today. There's also a couple videos you might want to watch from me here, and I really appreciate you. Have yourself a wonderful day.